What if staying home is not a sign of fear, but a kind of intelligence you have not yet learned to trust? This video is for the person who prefers their own room, their small routines, the soft edges of familiar light. For the person who feels both relief and a quiet shame about wanting to stay in. I want to explore that tension with you, simply and kindly. Many of us carry a sense that being at home means hiding. We hear the world say, get out, be bold, do more. And if you love staying in, you can end up feeling like there is something wrong with you. That creates inner static. You're pulled between the comfort of your space and the idea that comfort might be a trap. But there's another way to see it. There's a way where staying home becomes a practice. A place where attention is trained, where boundaries are honored, and where calm is cultivated. I'll show you how to make that shift without judgment and with a few simple practices you can try tonight. Before we go further, here's a small thing you could do to anchor yourself right now. If it feels right, leave a short line in the comments like, I choose quiet as my strength. Writing that sentence sends a tiny, steady signal to your mind and body. It's not magic. It's a small promise you make out loud, and that helps focus attention. Let's name the real struggle first. It often looks like this. You come home and immediately feel relief. Your shoulders drop. You breathe easier. Yet, almost as fast, a second voice shows up. Worry about missed chances, questions about purpose, guilt about being seen as lazy. You might avoid social invitations because the thought of leaving your safe space feels exhausting. And then you judge yourself for choosing comfort. This conflict is not about laziness. It's about balance. The mind that wants to stay home is searching for slow, predictable stimuli. It wants fewer surprises, less social energy drain, and more internal space. But the culture around us rewards movement, novelty, and visible achievement. So your inner life gets pulled in two directions. Let's dig into what's happening inside you, without making it a moral problem. When you choose to stay home, your nervous system is doing something important. It's protecting a rhythm that helps you recharge. That's useful, but sometimes the protection becomes a rigid rule. You may avoid small risks that would actually expand your sense of safety. Or you may hide parts of yourself in a way that disconnects you from supportive relationships. Think of the home you love as a practice hall, not a bunker. In many old traditions, people use their quiet spaces to learn how to be present. In the simplest terms, presence is learning to be with what's here. It's noticing the sound of the kettle, the weight of a blanket, the rhythm of your breath. It's not a performance. It's a daily habit. The Tao speaks of following the natural flow, not forcing, not fleeing, and that idea can help here. But you don't need a label for it. You just need small, steady practices. Here is one key shift I want to suggest. Stop thinking of staying home as either escape or failure. Instead, think of it as a condition to work with. Choose one simple question to guide you. What small intentional action can I take in this space that strengthens my calm and my capacity to connect? That question changes the aim. It moves you from reaction to choice. To make this practical, I will walk you through 3 exercises you could do today in the place you already love. Each one is short, clear, and meant to build a different skill: presence, boundary, and gentle expansion. The first exercise is a short presence practice you can do every evening. What it is, a 5-minute practice to notice what is actually happening in the room and in your body without trying to fix anything. How to do it today: sit comfortably or remain standing wherever you usually relax. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Close your eyes if that feels okay. Take 3 slow breaths, counting to 4 on the inhale and 4 on the exhale. Then simply notice 3 things you can hear in the room. Name them softly in your mind: refrigerator hum, distant car, the clock. Next, notice 2 things you can feel in your body: feet on the floor, breath at the chest. Finally, notice 1 soft inclination, maybe a desire to rest, to drink tea, to read for a few minutes. End by resting for 1 breath in the feeling you noticed. What to notice? Watch for the small softening in your shoulders, the tiny widening in perception when you stop trying to control everything. Notice if the urge to justify your stillness shows up. Practice letting that thought be background noise. The second exercise is about boundaries. It's simple and useful for people who love the home but need clearer edges. What it is, a short ritual that teaches your body where home time begins and ends. How to do it today. Pick a small, physical action that marks transition. It could be opening a window and letting air in, placing a mug on the table, switching on a warm lamp, or putting on a specific sweater. Choose one and do it the next time you come in. As you do the action, say to yourself, silently or aloud, "This is my time." Notice where you place your attention for the next 10 minutes. What to notice? Feel how your body responds to a deliberate signal. Notice whether your shoulders unclench, whether the mind allows a pause, whether a tension in the jaw eases. This signal teaches your nervous system it is safe to relax here, and it reduces the urge to do or prove. The third exercise is gentle expansion. It helps you test the boundary without abandoning the safety you love. What it is, a 5 to 10 minute micro outing to stretch your comfort without heavy demands. How to do it today. Pick a simple, low-stakes action outside your door. It could be stepping onto the balcony for 3 minutes, walking to a nearby mailbox, or sitting on a bench for 5 minutes and drinking water. No goal beyond being present. Bring nothing you must perform. Practice taking one arrival breath when you step out and one departure breath when you return. What to notice? Pay attention to the difference in your energy when you return. Notice whether small movement increased your sense of ease or made you tense. Notice whether you feel more connected to the world or simply more appreciative of your home. Either outcome is fine. The point is to discover how small actions shift your inner climate. Do these practices without a large agenda. They're experiments, not tests. Over time, they train your nervous system to hold both rest and movement. They give you choice. It's important to acknowledge the feelings that come up when we make this topic visible. If you love staying home, you may sometimes worry that you are shirking responsibility. You may feel shame or confusion or quiet loneliness. Those feelings don't mean you are failing. They mean you are human. They mean habits were built in response to something, and habits can be adjusted. You might also find relief or a deep sense of rightness when you begin to treat your home as a place for small practices. Allow both the relief and the doubt to exist. Let them speak without making one the boss of the other. Now, let me share a short story. It's simple, and it happened in the quiet evening light. A person who preferred to stay home came to sit with a teacher at the end of a long day. The student had been restless for weeks, lying awake and replaying small conversations. They felt tired of saying no to invitations, tired of feeling guilty when asked why they didn't go out. They wanted permission or a solution, and they wanted it quickly. The teacher listened as the student spoke, then waited until the quiet felt enough. The teacher pointed to a kettle on the stove and asked the student to make tea. The student looked surprised, but moved toward the small task. They filled the kettle, lit the flame, noticed the quick steam. The teacher did not provide long advice. Instead, the teacher opened a small window and asked the student to sit by the table and hold the cup when it was poured. They sat in near silence. The teacher said nothing for several minutes. Then, not as a lecture, but as an invitation, the teacher asked the student to describe 3 things they could see on the table. The student named a spoon, a mug, a small plant. The teacher then asked the student to put a hand on their chest and notice one feeling. The student felt a quiet steadiness for the first time in weeks. They admitted it out loud. "I thought staying in meant I was hiding, but right now, sitting here, it feels like practice." The teacher simply nodded and said, "Practice has no shame. It has attention." That moment changed the way the student met their evenings. The turning point was not a big insight. It was a small action, making tea, opening a window, putting a hand on the chest. Those actions invited the body to stop arguing with itself. The student realized that presence could be built into the very things they already did at home. There is no moral here. The scene didn't fix everything, but it showed how a quiet, ordinary action can reorient you when restlessness takes over. You can try something like that tonight. Make a small task into an invitation to be present. Before we close, let's collect a few practical reminders you can keep. Give yourself permission to be small sometimes and to expand other times. Both are parts of the same life. Use tiny signals at home to mark rest and work. Small rituals change nervous patterns. Test the edge with micro outings. You don't need to prove anything. You only need to gather data on how small actions change your feeling. If you practice the 3 exercises for a week, notice what's different. Maybe evening rest comes faster. Maybe social invitations feel less heavy. Maybe the thought that you are hiding feels less urgent because you know how to steady yourself. Remember, the goal is not to stop loving your home. The goal is to make your home a place that serves your inner growth. To shift from avoidance to intention, one small step at a time. One short question to leave you with. What small action could you take tonight to make your home a practice, not a refuge? If this felt useful, consider subscribing for more quiet, practical guidance on cultivating calm at home.